Well, look, what we've seen is unprecedented. This is a crisis that was made in number 10. We've had a run on our currency, yields up as a consequence, and people's borrowing, their mortgages up because of this government. And then as you listen to Jeremy Hunt, what you hear is despite long queues in the NHS, it's now set to get worse because he's expecting that department to find further efficiencies. Despite rising class sizes in Britain, we can expect our education to get worse. And with crime soaring across many communities in the country, we need police officers. Are they now going to backpedal on those undertakings that they've previously made? This is a disaster. And the only way to deal with a disaster in our democracy is to have a general election and to set our country on a certain path for the next 5 years. We cannot live in an oligarchy, effectively, where the Conservatives choose who leads them and as a consequence gives us a prime minister with no mandate at all to make now the swingeing cuts that we're about to see.
Well, yes, and he wasn't specific about what kind of cuts in which departments, was he? He said he would be laying that out, but he said it was important to be honest with people and say that there were going to have to be some issues over spending and tax in order to reassure the markets that the sums add up. Isn't that the approach that you need? He said he wanted to be honest.
Look, the truth is that there are still a dividends cut proposed. There's still a cut to tourists buying luxury goods. There's still the stamp duty cuts. We haven't seen the OBR forecast, but we know that the IFS says that there's a £62 billion hole, and the corporation tax reversal only deals with about a third of that. So there is a significant problem still. It's why, after Liz Truss finished speaking yesterday, the pound continued to fall and interest rates and borrowing rose. This problem was made in number 10. This problem was made by Liz Truss. She was warned during that leadership campaign not to take this course. Our borrowing is up, and now we're suffering cuts because of this government, and we need to take that to the British people and see if in a general election this is the direction that they want to continue to go in.
Well, you say there's still a significant funding gap. That's exactly what he's saying that he's seeking to address.
Yes, but who created it? His party created the mess that we're in. We were already facing a cost of living crisis. We were already facing rising energy bill. We now have a mortgage crisis, a pensions crisis because of this government. And we've heard this morning, we're now going to get swingeing cuts. This is in a G7 nation. It's unprecedented what this government has caused us.
So you say that you want a general election. How will you try to make that happen?
Well, the honourable thing, when you're facing a situation where we may get another Prime Minister chosen solely by Conservative MPs, is for the government to say, actually, we now need a general election, because, of course, any government needs a mandate. Now we're facing the mess that we are facing. It would be wonderful if Conservative MPs joined us and brought that about. But frankly, the honourable thing now is to give certainty to our economy and the global community. And the only way you can do that with a general election, the government could call a general election today. It's up to them.
It's not likely to happen, though, is it?
Well, I'm afraid, I think the idea that our great country can stumble on for another 2 years of this with no political mandate, with further cuts in our economy, with inflation now going up as a consequence of decisions that they made even further. People are suggesting 14%. Our country doing really badly in the G20. I think only Russia's economy is set to be worse than ours. This is unprecedented, and it's why, in all seriousness, the only way we can bring an end to this is with a general election, and the government should call one, put this to the British people, and see if this is really what the British people want.